Hello, my name is Coach Sarah Sharp with San Diego Volleyball Club, and the purpose of this video is to teach our modified 6-2 rotation that is used by our local teams. We teach them this rotation first in order to introduce them to switches and position play, which is usually new for the girls that learn this rotation. In order to keep this very simple and easy for the girls to pick up and adapt to, I only teach it in 3 stages. Each stage has a name, so the girls can remember it a little bit easier. So I am going to teach it to you in the same way that I teach it to the girls. So we'll have 3 stages or 3 rotations, and then they repeat themselves over. So let's get started with the first one. We have the rotation number 5, and I like to call this one sets in the middle. So the reason why I call it that is because our setters start out in the middle, and this is usually the rotation that we start in first for a game. It's the easiest for the girls to adapt to, and so we start with our outside hitter serving and our setters in the middle. When I first put the girls on the court, I always have them go to what we call 3 and 3. And this is just the girls lining up 3 in the front and 3 in the back. We do this so that they can see who they follow on the court. So as you can see, outside hitters always follow setters, setters always follow middle blockers, and our middle blockers always follow an outside. And then we also tell the girls to look and see who their opposite is. So the outside hitter will look across and see that they're standing across from the other outside hitter, middle blocker is across from our other middle blocker, and our setter is across from our other setter. So if they ever get confused or lose where they're supposed to be on the court, we always tell them to go 3 and 3 so they know where to be. Okay, so we're gonna start by looking at our team serving and the transition into base defense. So all of our front row players are underlined and bolded so that you can see who's front row. And then we have just regular and back row. Over here you can see we have it says MB/L, and that stands for middle blocker/libero. So in a travel team, usually you have a defensive specialist that's wearing a different colored jersey, and they have special rules that allow them to sub in for as many times as you want. Usually in our local program, we don't have enough girls on a team to field a libero, but I like them to learn the terms so that they're more comfortable with it when they do eventually move on to our travel program. So looking here, we have our outside hitter. They're just got front row. They're already in their base defense, which is on the 10-foot line on the left side. We have our setter to the left of our middle blocker because our setter always follows our middle blocker. She is going to be transitioning to the right so that she can go to her base defense. And then our middle blocker is already up on the middle of the net. Every time we serve the ball, we like to put our middle blocker in her base defense right away. It makes it easier for her. There's less movement with the girls having to switch and transition. And so middle blocker just goes straight up to the middle of the net. Okay, when the outside hitter serves the ball, she is going to transition to left back. Our middle blocker or libero is going to go middle back, and our setter is going to go right back. So as you can see, we have our outside hitters all on the left, our middles are in the middle, and our setters are on the right side of the court. Our back row defense is 3 straight across middle back. The reason why we do it that way is we find in this level of play that there are more balls dropped in the middle of the court than in the back. So we like to scoot our middle back or libero up so that she can take care of those balls. Okay, so let's look at serve receive to base defense. So on our serve receive for the first 2 rotations, our setter is just going to go straight up to the net. So instead of tucking her or pushing her from setting it from the back row like another 6-2 or 5-1, we like to put our setter straight up in the front row. And we have our middle blocker is going to transition and hit a 2 once the ball is served. And then we have our outside hitting a 4. So once we bump, set, and take care of that ball, we are going to transition into base defense. So we have our outsides on the left, our middles in the middle, and our setters on the right. Okay, so our next stage of this rotation is rotation number 6. And this is the 3 and 3 for that. So as you can see, we just rotated one position, and now our middle blocker is our next server, and then our other middle blocker just got front row. With this one, I like to call easy peasy. And the reason why I call it easy peasy is because this is as close to what the girls are used to playing. So usually the girls just rotate a position and then whoever's in right front sets. And so since our setter is just rotated into right front, it is the simplest for them because that's what they're used to playing. Okay, so looking at our team serving to base defense, we have our middle blocker always middle front on the net. Our outside is on her right, ready to transition to the left to get to base defense, and then our setter is already on the right 10-foot line, ready for base defense. And so our outside hitter in the back row is going to transition to the left. Our setter in the back row is going to go over to the right, and then our middle blocker or libero is going to go to middle back. So again, we have 3 passers straight across in the back, an outside on the 10-foot line, our middle blocker up on the middle of the net, and our setter on the right side 10-foot line. Okay, and now we have rotations number 6, serve receive. Like I said before, this one is what the girls are used to playing before they learned rotations, and so our setter is just up on the net on right front. Our outside is hitting the 2 option, and our middle blocker is hitting the 4 option. Okay, so once we take care of that ball with a bump set spike, we're going to transition into base defense. Okay, our third and final rotation is what we like to call swing. I'll explain why we call it swing in just a second, but this one is the only rotation where we have a play where the setter is going to come out of the back row. So before we get to that, we're going to look at when we are serving. So we have our setter back to serve, and then she's just going to step forward into right back for defense. And then up on the net, we have our middle blocker ready to block, and then our setter and our outside hitter are going to switch so that they can get to their base defense. Okay, so super easy. Now serve receive, this is when we have the girls yell out swing, and we actually have them practice yelling it out. So I'll usually ask them like who just served, they'll say the setter, and then they'll usually be like, oh yeah, every time the setter serves, we go into swing. So the reason why we call it swing is because our setter is not going to set from the front row like she has on the other 2 stages. She's actually going to pass and swing outside and hit a 4. Our setter that just served is going to stack behind our outside hitter, and she's going to break to the net and set that ball for one play, and then she's going to come back and play defense back row. So the other team is going to serve the ball, and the second they make contact with the ball, that's when our setter is going to break to the net. And then she has the option of setting a 2 for the middle blocker or have the front row setter hit a 4. We do have the option to have the outside hitter hit a 5, but we usually hold this girl back from hitting and have her be the safety setter. So in case our other setter isn't able to get to the ball, our outside hitter will take that second ball and set up the offense. Okay, so we have the setter broke to the net already. We're going to pass that ball. We're going to then hit the ball over the net and transition into base defense. So this one gets a little tricky only because we have some back row players up on the front row. We have some front row players all the way as far away from her actual defensive spot as she can get. So once we put that ball over, it's it's really good to have the girls transition super fast. So the middle blocker is going to go up to the middle of the net. Our setter that's front row is going to take back over the setting position and set our offense, and then our outside hitter is going to go left front. And then we have our passers straight across in the back. All right, and that's it. That's our modified 6-2 rotation. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, you can contact me by email. My email address is sarah@sdvbc.org. You can check out our volleyball club and our local program, as well as our travel teams at sdvbc.org. You can also check out our boys program, Seaside Volleyball Club, which is really awesome. I actually based this video off of a video our Seaside director Russ Bird made for a traditional 6-2 rotation. I'll link that video below so that you can check it out if you want to compare it to this modified version. Yeah, but hopefully we can get some more videos up soon. If you have any requests, please comment below and we'll see what we can do. Thank you. Bye.